We don't seek to defeat white people. We seek to defeat the public policy that discriminates against us and holds us back. No, I don't remember anybody telling me I couldn't make it, but I remember everybody around me telling me I could make it. And I thank God for them.
Thank you, sir.
Thank God for them.
Thank you for being here this evening. Your life and your words challenge us and inspire us, and thank you again. I have a question. It's concerned with education. The school district in Rochester schools is under much criticism, perhaps not unlike other school districts throughout the country. The failing rate, the passing rate is questioned. This has led to such things as our mayor wishing to take over the school district. It's become a controversial issue. Putting that aside, what do you feel is the primary problems with the school districts and education in America, particularly in the urban setting?
You have an easier question? I'll take it.
I tried.
That's a good question. Our educational system needs our attention desperately, and we need to work feverishly to improve our educational system. I don't know that I'm qualified to speak from a professional perspective, but I do remember my own school days. And the thing that I perceive as the most important thing in school is the teacher. And how that teacher relates to the pupil, how that teacher perceives the job and the challenge. And I guess we have come, and the school is victim like every other institution in our society. We've come to a place in our society, and I guess that's why some people think we're not so smart, that we want to get by. We want to do the least thing and get by without arduous and sacrificial labor. And that won't work in the school. We have kids that come from homes where they don't get an environment, don't have an environment that is conducive to learning, that exposes them to resources, and that puts an extra burden on the school. So I think we need better teachers now than we ever have. We need authorities in the school, the Board of Education, others that are thoroughly committed to the teacher-pupil situation, where that's the way the best situation, they say, is the teacher on one end, the log, and the student on the other, exchanging ideas and learning. I don't have any professional advice. I'm not an educator. I taught school for a while, but I don't profess to be an educator. But I do know we need to give more attention to, and I think we need to encourage more parent participation in the education process. I think that not enough parents are interested in the school. I think the people ought to have a stronger voice in curriculum building, in policies that control the school. I think, I understand that I don't want to meddle in Rochester politics, because I have enough problem with Atlanta politics. But I believe participatory, more participation on the part of the people, not only in electing the board members, but in helping give advice and creating the kind of spirit that is conducive to learning and rewards learning. One of the things I think, I wish we could get as excited about a kid making an A in algebra as we are about a kid making a touchdown on the football field. I wish, And believe me, I love sports. I don't know how the Jets going to do with the Colts. I'm pulling for the Colts. I just pull for because I know the coach and I know his predecessor, Dungy. But and of course, I got to pull for the Saints. As a preacher, God have a But I do think we need to work together as a community to glorify education the same way we glorify athletics. And until we do that, we're not going to get the inspired teachers. We're not going to get the participation with parents that we ought to get. And I think it's just like anything, and we've got to work at it. And we've got to have a whole community working at it. That's not a professional answer to your question. I can't give you one. I just gave you what I feel as a parent, a grandparent, that we all got to work together to help our children learn. And we need to reward learning with the same enthusiasm we reward athletic ability.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Dr. Lowery. First off, I would like to thank our president of the U of R, the committee, and yourself for bestowing us with a wealth of knowledge and experience this evening. It truly was a treat. In your speech, you talked about moving from ceremony to sacrament. You also talked about moving from charity to love. I would be an agitator of this evening to propose yet one more thing, and that is to move from ignorance to awareness. And my question for you this evening, Dr. Lowery, is how do I, as a black youth, convince my peers and my colleagues of the language choice that we use on an everyday basis and how it shapes our minds and our perceptions of our reality? And how do we, in more blatant terms, move away from the homeboys and the niggers of our common day usage? How do I convince them that it's not appropriate, it's not acceptable, and it's not respectful to ourselves? Is there any advice you have on that, Dr. Lowery?
Well, the first one is that, well, let me, I don't know how many of you saw part of American Idol. A fellow named Larry Platt he calls himself a general. He attends a meeting every week of a group I chair called the People's Agenda. And he sang something called Pants on the Ground. And he said, you look like a fool with your pants on the ground, pants on the ground. And that song is catching on. I hope it does. Because I don't understand. I talked to my grandson the other day, and I said, why are your britches down below your butt? Are you aware of the historicity around that? And what it means in prison? And so forth. What are you asking for? And I think we've got to find a way to communicate with our young people in language and teach respect. Aretha Franklin sang a song, Respect, R-E-S-P-C-T, it's very popular. And we need to work with our young people to help them. And one of the places you can start, I got a menu a while ago that I was to choose something to eat. And it had on there, try our ass-kicking chili. And I ordered it because I want to see what... But we have to, and we have to communicate with our